After the Clone Wars had come to a dark end with the call of Order 66 from Chancellor Palpatine, the Empire quickly set its sights on capturing Kamino so that a new batch of clones could not be used against Darth Sidious. In response to this, the Kaminoan scientists on the planet began to produce a completely new batch of clones, still based on the Jango Fett template, but this time completely loyal to Kamino rather than the Republic or the Empire. Before we get into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, as about 60% of you watching are currently unsubscribed. So if you do enjoy the video, remember to hit the big red button. Following the rise of Darth Sidious to the position of Emperor after Order 66, he quickly began to bring many star systems of the galaxy under the tight grip of the Empire. This also included the extra-galactic planet of Kamino, despite the previous relationship that Sidious had formed with the Kaminoans. The Kaminoans were disgusted and left absolutely furious with Darth Sidious because he used their own creations, the clone troopers of Jango Fett, to invade Kamino and place it under imperial control. After realizing the critical mistake they made by making the clone troopers completely loyal to the Republic and Empire rather than themselves, the hardworking scientists on the planet secretly began to create a new batch of clones. This secret batch of clones would be completely obedient to the Kaminoan leadership and refuse to obey any orders given to them by Imperial command, going by the ominous name Clone Anti-Troopers. While the majority of these top secret clones were regular standard clone anti-troopers, the Kaminoans also allocated small sections of tubes inside their laboratories to create special variants of the clone anti-troopers. These very likely included clone anti-assassins, anti-shadow troopers, and anti-covert operations troopers. On top of this, they also created anti-arc troopers, who became known as the rail class arc troopers. If you want to know more about the clone anti-troopers, let me know down below and I'll make sure to cover the very interesting story of the anti-troopers. These rail class arc troopers were carefully observed by the Kaminoans after their creation to ensure that they were loyal to the orders given to them by Kamino. These exotic troopers were grown and trained on Kamino for nearly a decade before being put into any sort of combat scenario. On top of this, the rail class arc troopers were equipped with standard arc variant phase 1 armor, which included the normal command pauldrons and karmas. Interestingly, however, the main weapon they were given to use in combat was the Z6 rotary chain blaster cannon. Almost exactly 20 years after the Kaminoans created the first batch of clone troopers on Kamino for use by the Republic in the Clone Wars, they were harshly betrayed when Darth Vader sent the 501st to bring the rebellious clones on the planet back in line. The commanding officer of the 501st on this mission was Boba Fett, a clone himself, making this an incredibly tragic story. As Boba and the 501st arrived on the rainy planet, the regular anti-troopers defended Topoka City's outer perimeter, but the rail class arc troopers were stationed inside the cloning facilities of Topoka in order to protect the growing batches of undeveloped anti-clones. Despite their incredibly fast growth rate and intense training, the anti-troopers were not experienced enough to resist the harsh advance of the battle-hardened Boba Fett and the clone stormtroopers of the 501st. At this point, many of the members of the 501st were still clone troopers, again making this such a tragic battle. Clones fighting clones, brothers killing brothers. After storming their way into the cloning facility, Boba Fett and the 501st became engaged in a fierce firefight with the anti-arc troopers, who were trying to move the battle outside of the laboratories so that the unborn anti-clones would not be harmed. Unfortunately, their efforts to protect the clones failed, leaving Boba Fett and the 501st to smash the life support systems of the unborn clones to pieces and brutally slaughter their brothers in the tubes. Let me know down below how you feel about brothers killing brothers. Even though these anti-clones were bred as the exact opposite to the regular clones, it's still heartbreaking to see this happen. But let me know down below what you think about it. After Boba and the 501st destroyed the ability to create any more clone anti-troopers, the Kaminoans realized that their planet was lost, and many of them swiftly fled off-world to a new unknown location. While the Kaminoans fled their falling world, the rail class arc troopers joined the final remaining anti-troopers, desperately fighting against their Imperial clone brothers to hold them off. Although each anti-trooper and anti-arc trooper fought to their final breath, they were unable to hold off the fierce advance from Boba and the 501st, and every last rebel clone was rounded up and exterminated. With the tragic deaths of every single clone anti-trooper and anti-arc trooper, the Kamino uprising had failed, and not a single person outside of Darth Vader, Boba Fett, and the 501st would know what truly went down on that day, as the Emperor declared the incident highly classified and not to be spoken of ever again. So that is the story of the secret arc troopers who were created to fight off the Empire during the Clone Rebellion on Kamino. If you want to hear more about the regular clone anti-troopers, let me know down below. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.